Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? It's the day before the day of the weekend. Olympics are almost over and done with. Everyone having a good week, good summer? I think it might be a quieter one than usual this week. Uh, the Van Goghs, I think, are probably on their honeymoon, so it might just be a few of us, probably only 4 or 5. We'll see how many people show up. Oh, someone, Raindrop, is changing their name, perhaps. So I'm going to give everyone a couple more minutes to get into the stream, and then we'll begin. Oh, gold medal. Just so it'd be nice to have 5 people in, but I think it's just one of those weeks where it's going to be a little quieter than usual. And yeah, I guess we'll get things underway. I think it's just gonna be a week without a ton of teams. Um, but we're already 4 minutes past start time, so yeah, let's just get things rolling. Latishy, don't worry, Latishy, we haven't actually started yet. I think it's going to be a quiet week this week, but we've got 5 teams. That's enough. That's enough to have a full top 5 table. So that's enough to keep things competitive enough. So let's get on to the first round. So as always, it's our Think Fast, the quiz where speed gets points. And it's our 5th of August edition. Where is summer going, eh? Let's have a look at our first round, which, as always, is the headlines round. I'm going to show you 5 headlines from the last few days with a keyword or phrase blanked out, and you just got to choose the correct word or phrase to fill in the blank. Let's see our first headline, which comes from WKRN. 3 injured after iceberg wall collapses at blank attraction. Is that climate change, Game of Thrones, Titanic Museum, or Mount Everest? All right, so so a sixth player did get in before we started, so that's nice. We're almost up to our normal numbers then. Yeah, 4 of you correctly got it. It was the Titanic Museum, 1 each for climate change and Game of Thrones. No one going for Mount Everest there, but Pine Tree Inc. was the fastest answer there, and so off to an early lead. Our next headline comes from Insider. Olympic cameraman stopped filming field hockey to focus on a blank in the game's final minutes, baffling fans. Was the camera operator filming a cockroach, a hot spectator, a billboard, or a woodpecker? And answers will spread out this time. Most people going for hot spectator, which is certainly a traditional pastime of camera operators at sports games. Cockroach, I guess, was more baffling for fans, and that was the answer there. And Pine Tree Inc. Continuing in the recent tradition of getting off to a strong start in the early rounds. Let's see if you can capitalize on that all the way through this week. Our next headline comes from ABC St. Louis. Goose blank is simply showing off, say experts. Is the goose on top of the White House, flying upside down, attacking pet dogs, or using Morse code? So how is this goose showing off? And 2/3 of quizzes getting that it was flying upside down. A few people couldn't resist the idea that the goose was using a Morse code. But yes, the goose was flying upside down. And Pinetree Inc. still in the lead. Raindrop climbing in to second place. And there we have the upside down goose. Look at that silly goose. All right, next up, we've got our fourth headline from Golf Digest. Colin Morikawa confirms blank caused him to back off his final tee shot at the Open. Was it the heebie-jeebies, his mother's ghost, farting noises, or a roaming bear? I mean, this is a weird headline, however you complete it. And people going for everything except the correct answer, which was farting noises. So there'll be no change there. But the other three all seemed equally plausible to our competitors, which means Pine Tree Inc. holds on to his lead. And our final headline comes from ABC St. Louis. COVID-19 coronavirus. Women are claiming blank after having Pfizer jab. Is that boobs get bigger, virgin pregnancy, increased libido, or thicker mustaches? And the answer there is boobs get bigger, which only one person went for. 3 people going for increased libido. So bigger boobs from the Pfizer jab, apparently. And that puts B&B back into the top 5. But Pine Tree Inc. finishing the first round with the lead. We're going on to our second round, absolute units. This is our general knowledge round. What does the unit named after each of these scientists measure? So, for example, if it was Mr. Joule, I don't know Joule's first name, you'd say that's a measure of energy. And because scientists just love naming units after other scientists, um, you can get more than one type of unit for the same thing that it's measuring. So be aware of that. But let's have a look at our first one. I'm not trying to jinx anyone. So first off, we've got Heinrich Rudolf Hertz. Is that a measure of power, pressure, viscosity, or frequency? Let's have a look. 6 answers in. Oh, we've got a 7th team with us now, and most of you correctly identifying that hertz is a measure of frequency, so sound waves, radio waves. Frank rising to second place there, gold medal. Not quite medaling yet, but Pine Tree Inc. still in the lead. Next, Anders Jonas Angstrom. Is that charge, radioactivity, length, or force? And people guessing all over the place there. People thinking charge, radioactivity. They both seem plausible. It's length. And angstrom is just of like one very specific on the metric fractions of a meter scale. So it's just had to mute to sneeze there. Sorry about that. It's like a tenth of a micrometer or something. So it's metric. It's not SI. But yeah, just a very, very tiny distance. So Pine Tree Inc. extending his lead as the only person to get the correct answer there. Yeah, there's been forest fires on the whole continent, so that might be the sneezing. Next up, we've got Alessandro Volta. Um, so is his unit electrical potential, electric current, power, or magnetic field? And there's a lot of related but different things you can measure when it comes to electricity. And the volt is a measure of electrical potential. And Pine Tree Inc. still in the lead. B&B back up to fourth. Next up, we've got Isaac Newton, the big daddy of modern physics. Uh, but is a Newton a measure of energy, force, momentum, or gravity? And its force is famed for describing gravity. Um, Obviously, if gravity is exerting a force, you can measure it with newtons. But gravitational fields and stuff, if you want to measure those, they have different units. So Pine Tree Inc. doing great on the science round. Uh, Go from Greece, rising into top five. Good to have you in this week. Goes from Greece. Thought we might miss you this week. And next up, George Zimon Ohm. Uh, is his unit a measure of temperature, charge, acceleration, or resistance? And anyone who's ever used an ohmmeter could tell you that it's a measure of electrical resistance. And two-thirds of our quizzes getting that one. But go from Greece, moving up into second, and B&B into third. But Pine Tree Inc. absolutely smashing it on the science round, um, with a very, very strong lead after the first two rounds. Next is our put in order round. So you're going to put these historical conquerors in order of the land area they controlled, like at their peak. So we're going from smallest to largest, so left to right or top to bottom, whichever way it displays on your device. You're going to go from basically smallest empire to largest, and we're going in terms of land area, not population. Let's have. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I sorted it when writing the question by land area. And so the rulers you have to choose from are Genghis Khan, Queen Victoria, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Julius Caesar. So putting them in order from smallest to largest. So you want the person who controlled the smallest land area on the left, largest on the right, or smallest on the top, largest on the bottom. This could be a tricky one, or I think is these put in order ones often just will they only need to catch you out once. Yeah, so we've got the smallest empire belonged to Napoleon Bonaparte, then Julius Caesar. Next up, we had Genghis Khan, and finally, Queen Victoria presided over the height of the British Empire, covering more than a quarter of the world's land area. And that puts Raindrop straight up into second place as the only team to get that one right. Next up is our type in the answer round. Mystery tour. Type in the names of the cities as more and more attractions are gradually revealed. So we'll reveal 5 attractions from 5 different cities. You need to, as soon as you know what city is where you can find all these different attractions, type in the answer. And as always, city name only. City name only, yeah, because pretty, Kahoot gets pretty strict with this, so we're not looking for country name or anything like that or state, just the name of the city. And as always with the type in the answer rounds, watch out for spelling. Watch out for the dreaded autocorrect. All right, so our first city, let's have a look. Here it comes. The video's probably already started playing for you, but I'll probably be a few seconds behind you. First attraction, the grave of Jimi Hendrix. Second attraction, Pike Place Fish Market. And so a couple of teams got their answers in already. Next, we've got Mount Rainier. Then we have the first Starbucks. And finally, the Space Needle. So I think it looks like people cottoned onto this one fairly quickly. Let's see what guesses we got in. Seattle, San Francisco. Oh, Seattle misspelled. And Paris. But 4 teams got the correct spelling of Seattle. All right, go from Greece in second place now. And we've got Name the City in number 2. We've got the Skeleton Hotel. Ipanema. Then we've got Sugarloaf Mountain. And our first answer in. Then the Copacabana. And finally, Christ Redeemer. So I think people taking a little bit of time here. I think after the 1T Seattle situation, no one wants to be the typo repeater. And let's see what answers we got submitted. So, I thought that might catch people. We did accept just Rio for that reason. So again, 4 people getting the points there. And that means everyone catches up a little to Pine Tree Inc. All right, so let's have a look at our next city. We've got the Magic Fountain, the Gothic Quarter. Oh, people guessing already. Camp Nou. And we've got Las Ramblas. And finally, the Sagrada Familia. I think maybe the first 2 here were a bit vaguer than some of the others. But it does seem like everyone's got something to type in before we're out of time. And let's see what people said. New Orleans, Cologne, Barcelona. Did we get an incorrect spelling of Barcelona again? These spellings really killing people this week. But 3 people got Barcelona spelled correctly. And that means B&B climbing the ranks steadily. 3 correct answers in a row. This is B&B's round for sure. Next up on Name the City. We've got the National World War II Museum. The Treme neighborhood. Café du Monde. Historic cemeteries. And Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street. So get those guesses in if you haven't typed it in yet. Let's have a look what people wrote. Washington, D.C., I don't know. Paris, New Orleans. Paris seems to be a popular guess all around. I think the French history of New Orleans, maybe tricking people a little that way. Some people guessed New Orleans for Barcelona, I think, because of the Gothic Quarter. Makes people think of the French Quarter, but that has definitely helped out some of our teams lower down the leaderboard. And our final city, name the city. And I like to leave on these, type in the answers you like to leave the toughest one for last. So first up, the Flipper Museum. That's a pinball museum. Next, the Castle Hill Funicular. Then the Szechenyi Thermal Baths. Next is St. Stephen's Basilica. And finally, the Danube Promenade. Can you work it out from what you can see there? This does seem to be the trickiest one. People taking a little longer to get their answers in here. And what if people put Las Vegas, Prague, Warsaw, Budapest? No one got Budapest. Yeah, Shishini does kind of look, it's got Polish vibes, doesn't it? The SZ combo, but it is Budapest in Hungary. So no change from that final question in that round. That means Pine Tree Inc. goes into the last round with a healthy lead, certainly not insurmountable as we've seen in these final rounds over the months that we've been doing this. So our either or rounds, as always, this can be the big shake-up round. Everything's 50-50. It's a real game of speed here. And here, the either or category are these WWF/WWE wrestlers or characters from Gone with the Wind. Do not underestimate the last round comeback that's possible in our either or rounds. So let's see our first one in WWF or Gone with the Wind. Beulah McGillicuddy. Beulah McGillicuddy. So speed really can make the difference on these 50-50 questions. And most people going for Gone with the Wind, but that was a WWF wrestler from the 90s, I think, 80s or 90s. So 2 people getting the points there. Raindrop and Frank. All right, our next one. Pitty Pat Hamilton. And similar split, but this time you were correct. Pitty Pat Hamilton is a character from Gone with the Wind. And Frank jumping into third place there. Next up in WWF or Gone with the Wind. Pork. Let's see what the split's like here. Also, one of our last teams taking their time a bit. Yes, and again, 5 out of 7 correctly getting. That's a character from Gone with the Wind, novel set in the Old South, and a lot of the slave characters are pretty dehumanizing names. So, looks like Pine Tree Inc. is doing just enough to hold on, but there's still a couple of questions to go. So don't write anyone out just yet. Phineas I. Godwin. And a pretty even split here, but a slim majority correctly guessing that was a wrestler's name. And that puts Raindrop up into 4th place. It does look like Pine Tree Inc. might be actually holding on to the lead this week. But a great answer streak from Gothwood Greece in a fairly comfortable 2nd position. Finally, WWF or Gone with the Wind, Doc Fontaine. And yes, again, 5 out of 7 correctly getting the answer as a Gone with the Wind character. So, how has that shaken up the final scores? We'll find out in a second. First, thanks for playing, guys. Our next quiz will be the Monday quiz, the full length quiz. That's going to be at 8 p.m. on Monday. So, we'll see you back for that. But thanks for playing. Been a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, everyone. Let's reveal our final standings. In 3rd place, Raindrop with 7,413. Then we've got Goth from Greece. And finishing in the gold medal position, Pine Tree Inc. That science round runners up Frank and B&B rounding out the top 5. That perfect round on the science question that I think on the science questions I think most people struggled with sealed it for Pine Tree this week. So congratulations to this week's winner, Pine Tree Inc. Well done to the Van Goghs, finishing in 2nd place from Corfu. Have fun in Corfu, guys. And yeah, thank you for playing, everyone. And also, well done to Raindrop, who I think is playing from Salzburg this week. So, congratulations to all of our players. You all did a great job. And hopefully, we'll see you all back here on Monday at the slightly later time of 8 p.m. London time. And the engineering degree finally pays off. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.